In this video, I'm just going to show you the colors that I used, and right here's a little bit of comparison. Out of the boxes on the left, the medieval Spawn from McFarlane Toys. The right is what I came up with. I kept with the traditional colors: blue, yellow, gray. That's about it. Audio in this video is not great when it comes to me talking because I thought my mic was on but it was off. But anyway, it's still not too bad. I appreciate you guys for watching. After this video, or the video after the one that's coming out after this one, I'm not sure exactly which one it is. I got some work to do on editing this one up, the tutorial I have to put together for this one. But here's a little bit of breakdown of all the colors and paints that I used. I appreciate everybody coming in and checking this out. I have a tutorial how I put this together. It's a little lengthy. I'm not sure how I'm going to put it together, but it's almost done. But that probably will be up after this video, or I also have another video that I want to start this project that I'll probably put up first before that one, but I will put up a how-to, the walk-along with this particular piece here. This one was fun. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I'm not going to rush it. I try to rush it and I forget things, but it shouldn't be that long. But I'm going to break it down of the colors that I used and how I put it together in a real quick manner, not so much a tutorial. That, like I said, that one will be up here probably this weekend or beginning of next week. But anyway, this is the Spawn armor, medieval Spawn. And I already said to myself, I'm not doing any more Batmans. But when I saw this and I just seen the way the helmet looked, it just looked like Batman to me. And as soon as I saw it and I seen it for 27 bucks on Amazon, I just knew I was going to make it into a Batman. I know it's weird, but I automatically said to myself, when I seen it on sale finally, I looked at it and I said, well, what am I going to do to it? It's Batman. And I bought an emblem off Amazon as well. That was like $8. This right here, it's just a pin. I'll show you that here in a minute, but just give you a brief rough down of what the colors are before we get to the base. I went with a metallic, and I went back and forth with some things with this one. I originally went and picked up some, I tried to upgrade my paint to some of this war paint stuff, this is really good stuff, really good. Man, this application is crazy, even compared to the Createx stuff that I'm used to using, the airbrush stuff. But before I get to that, I primered him with Violetto, if I could talk, it's early, Violetto, I don't know, it doesn't matter, you can read it. I can usually say it, but right now I can't because I'm recording. I used Violetto primers and paints usually, Createx, but always primer this. I've had some bad experiences with rattle can primers with the Giant that I did, but this here is I tried to substitute it with something else. This is not that much. It's like 15, 16 bucks for this big bottle. I buy it white and black. I mean, white and black is all I use. If I need it gray, I'll just mix them together. I'm not going to buy a gray primer. Just, I mix it, save some money there. But I primered this whole thing really good, coated up with some black, straight black. This whole thing was black. Then after I did that, I came in and I got me some another product from War Paints that I'm going to probably get into a little bit. Not so much for the miniatures. I can't really do the miniatures. I'm going to stick with this size or bigger. So I do want to try some of this war paint stuff, and I tell you, this is some smooth paint, man. Smooth paint. Anyway, gunmetal right here. After it's primed black, after you prime it black with whatever your primer you want to use, go in with a dry brush. Use a good dry brush. Not a bad one. Use a good one. You can just go to get a makeup kit or whatever it may be. Just don't use the real hard bristle ones. Get the real soft makeup brush. That's what I used, and I did this. Everything here in gray that you see, that you can see here, like the neck, the arms, the body, the back of the cape, the legs here, the mesh, the steel mesh looking stuff, is just that. It's not gray. It's everything you see that's gray on here. The front of his chest, around the collar here, it's this gunmetal. I used that. That's all I use. It turned out so well, even with his hammer here, gunmetal. Except while there's some drip brushing going on here, but this is all gunmetal. Gunmetal on the skirt right here, between the gold and any gunmetal. Anything gray on here that's gray is gunmetal. Like back here, gunmetal. Nothing but gunmetal. It looks great. And by the way, as well, I almost forgot it, but these chains in this skull, nothing but gunmetal. Nothing but a dry brush gunmetal. It's amazing to me how this plastic turned out. And it's nothing that I did. As you just dry brush it. You just use the paint and dry brush it. There's nothing. As you just brush it on, lightly brush it, dry brush. And that's the way it turned out. I couldn't believe how this plastic cheap chain looked almost real. Look, almost, not well, as real as you're going to get with plastic, I'm thinking. But anyway, I know I say anyway a lot. Gunmetal gray. Then I went in, I thought I was going to use this as my primary color. It does not look like that. I bought this choice on mistake because I thought it was something different. That's it. But maybe you should read the label. Speaking to myself, maybe I should read the label before I buy something. I already have that at home. And these are nice because they also come with a ball. With the Createx Wicked paints, they do come with a ball inside. This was going to be my primary color, like I said. Let's go with the primary first. So I ended up testing on spoons. You'll see that in the tutorial. For now, I'm not painting nothing until I use spoons. I'm gonna primer the spoon, then I'm gonna use the color I want to use on the spoon, and that's what I'm gonna use. I'm not gonna go and just try to wing it anymore. I'm trying to go a little bit deeper into try to get better at things and try to, you know, just up the level of what I can do and what I want to do, you know, which everybody does when they do customs. But this here, the Decord Art metallics, and like I said, I wasn't a real big fan of metallics ever. I'm not a real big fan of metallic paint. I'm more of a fan of a standard solid color, but I'm trying to think out of the box and go into my uncomfortable zone to see what I can do just to try to help myself improve myself. But metallics was never a favorite of mine. But this ice blue, I tried spoons, man. I tried spoons with this color. I tried spoons with another color. I tried spoons with Createx blue. I tried Model Air blue. I tried different blues. I tried light blues. This right here over top of the metallic was the best color I thought I was looking for when it comes to a Batman armor. So I went with this one. That is all over the place. That's the primary color here on his mask. His shoulder piece, these little lines here, even let me see if I'm getting closer, little lines in here, that's anything that's a ice looking blue, obviously. His legs, I mean his foot, giant club foot, all his armor here is all ice blue. Underneath here I went far as up to the top, very top in there. I didn't cheat it out. I went up in there, I went far up in here, even did some stuff in there. I highlighted some stuff that you probably wouldn't even see because when I had it in pieces, I thought I'm going to do it all the way. Even in stuff in the back, if you can't see it, I still did it. We'll get to that in a minute. But I used that ice blue, everywhere blue, even his gauntlets, whatever you want to call them, his hand or his armored hand or glove you want to call it. Now I went in here with the 11 armor. The 11 armor looks more like a lavender purple. That is right here. That's the side here. That's in the back here. It's all over the back. I mean, it may look different on camera, I don't know, but that's that. And it's also inside here. That is 11 armor, and the lines are ice blue. Right here, up here, I don't know if you can tell. Hopefully on camera you can see. Hope it's the same color. It's right here. I did it inside the mask, and there, did it inside the mask. I dry brushed it and put the line down the side of his shoulder here with it. Like I said, I hope the lights aren't too much, and it is bright in here right now. And then I went in here and light brushed it with that 11 armor, and here it looks like a lavender. I did change up on the side here. We'll get to that in a minute. That's the only lavender I have, and I did in here. Like I said, in here also. Like I said, I did it also in here. You can see, he's kind of hard to peel up, but you can see I did the lavender here, the ice blue here, and I did a ice blue around the circle there, if you can see. I know it's kind of hard to see, man, I know. Outside of that, man, the lavender's in here inside the shin. Yeah, shin. Knee pad. That blue's a different blue. It's not ice blue. This right here, if you can, I don't know if you can tell on screen or not, but that's a different blue. Hopefully it looks blue on camera. I did go in with the hammer, and I did the 11 armor, little stripe here, little stripe here. This is ice blue. We'll get to the silvers in a minute. I think that's all the lavender that I have. I think. Yeah, I dry brushed the 11 armor in here. It looks like lavender to me. I know I keep calling it lavender, but it's 11 armor from Army Paints. It's in here. It's in here, like I said, in there. I think that's it on the lavender. Well, I call it lavender. That's it on the 11 armor that doesn't look like 11 armor. I guess if you do several, over white, I did a test. It isn't this blue. It doesn't, this color, this 100% color match isn't on the thing. So be careful when you buy. I mean, don't get me wrong. War paints, these war paints are pretty badass. I don't know, they're good. They're your Army Painter, from Army Painter. There's some really good, this is great stuff, don't get me wrong, but they're like $4 a bottle. It's kind of small, I know, just like Valleto's model air paints, but it's worth it. It's worth it. It's just smooth coats. So after I did that, I went in with, let me see here. After I did that one, well, these McFarlane, they never want to stand up. I'm gonna have to go get the, let me get the gold real quick. All right, we're back. I know I had to cut real quick. Now I went with the Vallejo, just gold. I bought several different golds, like 3 or 4 of them, and I just didn't. This is the one that won on the spoon. It just, this one is, I didn't think it would, but it did. This is a nice gold. It doesn't look that dark. Then it doesn't. The bottle looks darker than what it is, but this is the Vallejo Model Air Gold. I wanted to keep the traditional look of Batman, even though I know he's armor, but I still wanted to keep the traditional Batman's belt's yellow, so I wanted to go with a gold. Batman's primary blue, my favorite Batman, blue and gray. So I went with that. What I did with the gold Model Air is I went in here. Let me get a little closer, you guys. Let me get a little closer here. Gold, just brushed it on gold. Gold trim around here, gold trim around back. Like I said, even in the back, I kept attention to detail just because I know it's back there. Everything's completely nice and separated. There's the gold belt. Down the sides here, I put a little bit of gold plate in here. This is just, I'll get to the blacks in a minute what I used, but this is just a licorice black, some silver and some gold. It wasn't much color. I put some gold on the rivets here for the thing. Everything came together really, really easily, really fun. The only thing that gave me a hard time that I had to fix a couple times that I wasn't happy with was these side things right here. This little, it doesn't make sense. I know it's even not hardly worth mentioning, but this stupid little, well, not stupid, but yeah, because it really aggravated me at the time. I didn't know what color to do these things. I wanted maybe give them a complete different color, but I went with the scheme. I had tried a black and silver, and I tried this spikes black with this piece here silver. I tried everything. I just kept with what it was. I used the what was it, gunmetal gray with the gold with the silver, but we'll get to the silver in a minute. But as for the gold, Vallejo Model Air Gold, that's about it. That's anything that looks yellow is gold, and I used that with this hammer. I did some ring, the whatever these brackets are here on the hammer, whatever you want to call them or whatever. That's the gold. Outside of that, it's Army gunmetal gray with some silver mixed with it. I didn't do anything up top here with the gold. That was it. So after that, I came in with the, I was going to try to do some nickel, but of course it didn't work out. Let's get with the silver first. The silver here, I always go, my always go-to silver is the Model Air silver. Just this here, I've been it's all, I don't know, I can't get away from it. I tried nickel, I tried different things, but it just didn't work out. The silver seems to work the best as an accent. That's the silver on top, or that's everything's outlined through here with the ice blue. Everything's an outline of the silver that you see. I did it with that. The silver here, the silver, the little buttons, the little rivets here, silver spikes on that, those things right there. Now I dulled it down a little bit. I did mix a little bit, I did mix a very tiny bit of the silver and this gunmetal. I mixed these up a little bit. Just, I gave it a little bit, little drop of that. I mean, it was 10% gunmetal, 90% silver when I'm talking about what I did here. Just to dull it down a little bit. I didn't feel like doing a dark wash on it again. So I did go over here and I did hit these little buckles, man. I mean, I went deep. For me, I went deep. These are little silver. This was silver buckles over here. I can't see them too well, but there we go. Got the same thing on this side. Got the silver buckles here. Everything just paying attention to what the sculpt offers for you to do and what you can take, where you can take the sculpt yourself. The silver out here, I was really stuck right here with this one. I knew this was probably going to be silver out here and out here, but this was all blue. This was not a trim. Actually, that's my daughter. Thanks to her, she said, why don't you just take an imaginary line and just bring it around? Because I felt, even though this is the 11, if you can't tell on camera, this is the 11 armor and this is the ice blue that I used, the metallic ice blue. This separated everything for me. It was a perfect. I'm glad she was there, and I'm glad I asked, because that was perfect for me. That's what I was looking for. So that there, silver, not so much silver down here, no. Silver, like I said, on these spikes, little spikes here. Silver, okay, while we're on the silver and army, the gun metal, this is a mixture of a little more silver. This is probably gunmetal, like I said, no, a little more. It's probably almost a 50-50 here on this spike, and 50-50 here on this spike, if I can get in frames. I'm not even paying attention to the camera. 50-50 on the spike and this spike for the gunmetal and the silver. I did take some silver and dry brushed across all this crazy looking, meshy metal looking stuff. I did take some straight, well, not so much straight silver, it's a little bit of mixture of silver and that gunmetal, just a tad bit of gunmetal, maybe a brush worth, not even that, very tip of it, mixed it around with some water. I put some of that inside here to make it look like it's a little bit of a dirty around the eyeballs and it's not so perfectly clean. Then I used that, again, this is the ice blue. This is the ice blue metallic again that I used. I put on the face where the Spawn emblem is, and I think that's everything with the silver. I think, no, up top here on the helmets, back here you can see on the helmet, really took my time as best I could with my eyes and me getting 1,000 years old here, getting to be old here. And I got a one of those headpieces I wear, and I got all the buckles, try to keep them in straight line as best I could. Try it, like again over here, the buckles and stuff, everything over here. This was all disassembled though. Everything was disassembled. And then I think the next blue I used, the only blue that I was going to use on this thing, before I get to the accessories part of it, which is not much, it's just a bat. The only thing I think that covered everything, I did, okay, now let's go. Well, the only other blue I used was it's just a standard Createx blue. You can barely see it. It's just a straight blue from Createx right here. Right, that line right there, this line. And I used that blue for the outline, the knee pads here. That's it. That's the only thing I used, the Createx blue. Now the Createx blue looks like this. I ran out of it. It's this, but blue, same thing. It's just opaque. Instead of a red, it's a blue. Same bottle, but blue. Same thing. Same manufacturer, same everything. I used that blue right here. Like I said, it's just on the knee pad, just a trim on the knee pads. That is it. And just the trim up here. It made no sense why I did it, but I did it. I just bring that piece down here, as you can see, if you can see, and bring these. This is straight blue, just to change it up a little bit. So ice blue, 11 armor, I mean, and then blue. 11 armor, which looks like lavender to me. And then A lavender up here on top of the forehead. No, 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 wait a minute. Yes. Lavender here, the 11 armor here, 11 armor here, 11 armor here, and that's it. And this is now the back, I did use the ice blue. This whole helmet was blue. I was going to leave this gray. As you can see, it's a little more dingy and dirtier. Opposed to 3 coats of this blue, I used just 1 back here. I wanted the helmet to look a little more dingy and old. I just because of wear and tear of weather, possibly, in my mind. Now the cape is just this blue. Well, this is red, I know. Createx blue, just standard Createx opaque blue. The cape mixed in with some white, just some straight white to get my desired color. I tried to use the metallic. I tried to use the 11 armor. It looked horrible. So I did do a outside blue, inside dark color cape, which I never like to do, but I thought on this one would make it look, I don't want to make it all blue. It just would have been too much. I try to make it a little more dark. So I did use that white with just straight blue from Createx just to get my desired blue. That's that blue. This is all still gunmetal up here. I know I'm bouncing around a little bit on the skulls. Didn't touch that at all. Now I did, as you can tell, if you can see, again, not red, but blue, the same bottle, Createx blue. I know I'm repeating myself a lot. I used on the cloth in here. See? That's that cloth. And all I did was dry brush it. I didn't paint it. I still have that black primer back there that you can see that's bleeding through. That's what it made it look a little more darker, I think. And also I want to keep those shadows. So that's just Createx blue, straight blue. That's another place I use that for. Outside of that, it's kind of weird, but I did. Now I do like the black spikes. I didn't want to go silver like Spawn. I know this is Spawn. I know this is a ripoff. This is just a crossover. This is what I came with my crossover, what I came up with. I went with the black spikes, all of them here, and I used a relatively cheap or inexpensive paint that I do love, folk art. I love it. This is the licorice. So I use that. This is what this is. That's that color. Believe it, I didn't use black. I know it looks black, but I didn't use it. All there. I use the spikes there. Over here, I started changing it up a little bit. I only put 1 coat on there because it was remember everything was dry brushed. It was still that gunmetal gray. I kind of like 1 coat. Very hit it with some light coats there. Kind of was gauntlet and stuff. That's what that's called. I left that alone. Now down here as I get further, I did go with some black down here and all the tiny little rivets and stuff and all up here on the skull and up here and up here. I did use that for that. And down here, I tried it, didn't like it. I do like this. I used 1 real thin watered down coat of this. That's what I used for that. His spikes down here with the big boot. I didn't want to blacken them out. I tried blacking one out. It just didn't look right to me. I really like this metal look like it's tearing through the boot or it has wear and tear on it. But outside of that, what did I do? Oh, I did use a little bit of, I love my raw umber. I love this raw umber. I did use that for inside for some leather look. Not much, very subtle. And I dark washed it after I put it in there. Same thing on this side, over here. Some raw umber from leather and some dark wash. That's the only spot I use that. For this, and let me see where am I at now. I did use, as you can see right here, the famous Spawn logo, right here. And I did use the straps back here again. Like these are brown. If you probably can't see them. I don't know. You probably can't see them. But right here, I did leather these up a little bit, and it's very subtle, but it doesn't make. You probably wouldn't tell me if I did or didn't, but I did. I hit all the spots I wanted to hit, regardless if you could see them or not on camera or on the shelf, just so I know I completed it. I did go in here, and I used this folk art black, and I used that for the symbol that's usually like a off-white for the Spawn. I did use that. I wanted that black. Because it seemed like it went with the bat. If you look at it straight on, it kind of goes with that bat. That's a $8 bat off of Amazon. It's just a pin, as you can see on the side here. I drilled some holes. That's in the tutorial where I drilled the holes and just made my marks and then super glued them in, the emblem, just to make it look a little different, just so I can turn them actually into Batman. Outside of that, the last thing, now that I bring the red in, standing in for blue. Now I did use this red right here. Didn't mix it, left it just out of the bottle. I whitened out his eyes with some white primer and then just painted them red. I did use, again, didn't mention this black here, the down here, down in front of the mask, down here. This is still gunmetal, just darker. And I used a very light coat of barely even gunmetal, hit those little rivets, if you can see or not. I'm not sure if you guys can see the rivets or not on the camera. So outside of that, that's the Batman. That's where I came up with him at. And then now the base. Let's go to the base real quick. I won't make this real long. I know it's already been a long video. If I can get Batman to stand up before he goes to war. Let's see here. Put that there. What I did with the base now, what I plan on doing with the base is I want to get a light. I have a hockey puck light. This is as you can see through it right here. It's a big circle. I didn't care too much. As you can see, when I made this, I didn't care about the dimensions being perfect. It's all uneven. Rock is uneven. A little more over here, less over here, a little more over here, a little more in the back. Uneven. It's not perfect. So I set it in there. I just want to make it like a rock look. Make it look like it's a natural rock look. And then this is just foam. See up here, this is just foam. I'm going to put a giant. I'm going to get a. That'd be another video. I'll put it in the dark. Get me a really nice bright hockey puck. Put it down over top of the hockey puck, turn the hockey puck on. When he's standing in here at night, you should be able to see him glow from the light. So what I did here is I went with a black base, primer base, and I used this. I didn't use a good primer. I used Apple Barrel. This is like $2.50 for this giant bottle for the base. Then I went in with some grays. Any gray will do. You just dry brush it. That's it. For this, now I'm talking about this part right here. I didn't put too much thought and too much into it because I didn't want to do too much with it because I didn't want to take away from the actual piece that stands on top of the Batman stands on top of it. So what I did up here, this is all this water damage looking stuff, as you can see. Damage, water damage, water damage. All this is water damage, kind of water damage. At least in my opinion, the interpretation of water damage, if you want to call it that, I think it's water damage. That's what I sought out it to be. Back here as well, and out here is just dry brushed it, and that's all pastel. That's not paint. This water damage is all pastel. It's black pastel. I got the same kind of foam, made a cut little piece of that right there, made it so I can sit up opposed. What my plan was to have this laying down here. I tried it, but I didn't realize how big this was, which I like it being big. This was $16.99 off of Amazon as well. It's just a metal little emblem. And I wanted to put his feet over top of it. I wanted to put his feet like this, put his feet over top of it, over top the emblem, but the emblem was too big. So I guess at the end of the day, it wasn't bad because it turned out pretty good. Let me take the count. Let me take this off here. So, yeah, so I went in the middle. So I decided to make a little piece and make it like it kind of sit up a little bit, you know, like kind of like a display thing, you know, kind of make it sit up. The only thing I did on top was the nickel. This is the nickel. Everything's black. The grate's black. I repainted it because I did paint this thing whole silver. I didn't like it, so I had to go back in. I used the Apple Barrel, painted it all black again. I'm talking about the grate now that he's standing on, not the foam. The grate. Painted it all black again after it was silver, and then I just took my time and painted the top nickel. The nickel, like I said, was it's from Craft Smart, just a nickel. It worked out pretty good, and I just went over top, took my time, real smooth, and I just wanted the grates to be black and the top, very, 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 very top to be silver or nickel. I tried silver, didn't like it. I tried chrome, I didn't like it, so I went with the nickel. To make it shine, as you probably can't tell too much on camera because everything's shining, all the lights and stuff. I used a gloss finish, brush on gloss finish on the top, and then I used a satin finish. I used a satin finish on Batman itself, and then the chains, real simple. There's tutorials all over YouTube. I did do, like I said, it's part of the tutorial as well. It's just some wire, as you can see. It's some wire inside. And I ripped off the SPAWN spikes that everybody does with the metal spikes. These are metal spikes. I wanted them coming out of the diorama coming up. I didn't want them too big. First I wanted them really long and big, but I thought it looked stupid. Then I tried to maybe thinking bring them from up inside out of the grate, but I just went, for some reason I wanted them to come out of the sides and up around Spawn Batman. So I think that's it, man. I think that's all of it. I think I summed everything up with a real kind of a long video of the Batman Spawn, but here he is. I do, like I said, I do have a tutorial coming of him, and I'll do a real quick video here with my so far custom Batmans that I've done so far in the years. A couple years, 2.5 years I've been airbrushing, but I thank you guys for watching. I appreciate everything. If you stuck around this long, I know it's kind of a long video, so I'll see you guys on the next one or the following one. Thanks for watching. Alright, now, forgot my mic was on, or was off. The whole time I was recording the video, mic was off, so if you got some echo, I apologize. Didn't use my snowball mic, but this is the Batmans that I've done, crossovers. This here's He-Bat. This was a nightmare, but it turned out pretty cool. There's a video on that. There's a video on how I did it, which is not really that big a deal, but this base was a pain. And then over here was my first attempt of something of a Spawn Batman. That's the Spawn cape on there with the Batman, heavy metal Batman with a diorama and some chains. I have that on the channel as well if you want to check that out. But so far, here's my crossover of Batmans right here. That's it. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you on the next one.